Good evening, and this is AJ with MMC. That's Muscle Model Cars and Accessories. But you can find us at musclemodelcars.com, and what we actually do is find it, we build it, and we display it. And we will have many more accessories to go with it, tools to for enthusiasts who like to build muscle model cars and who like the whole idea of having racing items around their home to display. And we actually want to give a tutorial type of instructional on different cars. And what we try to do is figure out uh, what's a good way to put things together with the least difficulty all the way up to the highest difficulty. And then what we're going to do with that is take a step by step process to have some fun while we do it. Maybe do a little sections at a time. Start with the first step, and then move on to the second, third, fourth, and so on. And during that process, we'll introduce you to different types of tools needed to get that desired look for plastic model kits that you can get at hobby shops or whatever, even those hard to find ones, even those that's no longer around. So, if we could, we're going to try to start today with a very, very simple step one, which would be basically to look at what you could do easily. Like some have different skill levels, and with those skill levels, of course, the lower the skill level number, the easier it is to do. The higher the skill level, the harder it is to do. So we might start in the middle, and I'm going to start today and kind of give you a heads up on how I do it. Okay, this is um, this is called a street burner. Okay, it's a muscle car by Revell, and if you look in the corner right here, it shows the skill level. Okay, it shows uh, the ages at the top, ages 12 plus. This is a skill level 4. It's not the most difficult, but it's not the easiest. And you usually find with those skill levels that the higher the number, the more intricate the different things are, such as the lighting, the added on hood ornaments, the badges for the vehicle, the mirrors, hood scoops, things like that. The door handle. Okay, you can't see it right now, but as you can see on the side of it, we're going to eventually try to get this. Now I'm showing you the box right now, and as you can see, we're going. The desired effect is what we want to get our end result to this. So with this, we're going to do it like one step at a time. I'm gonna show you how I'm gonna go about doing it, and so you don't think that I had somebody else put it together for me. I'm going to give you an idea of how to start it from opening the box like this. I just opened the box. Okay, this is some of the parts that was in the box. Okay, they come in a plastic bag like this. Okay, and as you can see, you have the different pieces to it. The floorboard, the two halves of the engine, that and the fan, the radiator, the fan, the steering wheel. You have part of the bumper, the rear end. Okay, you have the body, the bottom portion of the body on this particular one, and the insides of the door of the vehicle. Okay, this is a 70. Okay, this is a 1970 Dodge Challenger. Okay, TA. Okay, and then what we're going to do is show you other parts so you'll know, and then what I'm going to do is explain to you about these parts and what if we are trying to get this desired look here, there are certain things we're going to have to do along the way and to keep it nice, clean, and not messy. Okay, it's just going to take some practice. Don't get frustrated, and just be aware that nobody's going to be perfect the first time. But the more you do these, the better you get. Okay. All right. So with that, okay, I showed you one part of it. Um, Next thing I'm going to show you is this is the body. Okay, and this is a Challenger body. Okay, as you can see, looks like a Challenger, but this is all white. And we're at the end of the day, we want to get this to look like this. Okay, that color orange there, I call it an orange crush type of color. And so, as you can see, it's just a shell basically, and it's all white. So anything we want done, we're gonna have to do it ourselves, and that's how we like it. Cause then that makes it personal, and that makes it actually makes you feel like you accomplished something and you actually created something from basically just a pile of materials. Okay, and we're going to have it all together, and all of this is going to come together as one. Okay, as you can see here, we got the hood. You're going to have certain ones that have options to have the hood, uh, depending upon the build. Some gives you two options, three options, or some only have one option. As you can see, depending upon the hood scoop, I call it, the holes you see built in, however you build the manifold, the intake, okay, or the blower motor. However, you want it, you design it. But for the most part, we're going to try to stick to the script of the build we see on the front of the box and make it that way. And then that way we can see our, our progress and how good we are at it. Okay? So you have two options, like I said, with this. Okay? Next, we're going to look at, you have this here. And this again is part of your blower type of intake that's on the top of the hood. This is going to be a different color. This is the colors. I'll explain that to you as we get further into the next step. But this here is the riser for the intake manifold, okay, which takes in, you know, all the fuel mixtures and the gasoline mixture and the air, and then you know that's where all the magic happens to give you that horsepower that you need to go through your exhaust and through your headers or however you design the exhaust system, which could be with headers or just regular exhaust manifolds. Some of these kits come with the ability to make them just like you would buy them from a dealership that's not street racing type. They're just basically built like a newer version of this might be considered like a Hellcat that has a I can't remember, but I think it's somewhere in the 700s horsepower. Of course, it could be bumped up in real vehicles to different horsepower. So to me, I call it my vision model of the different cars that I'd like to own. I have some built already. Later on in the series, I will let you see some of them. I hadn't did it since I was maybe 7 years old. I think I started at around in 1960, I want to say 1967, 68. West side of Chicago kept me out the streets. My mom kept me out the streets with it. She gave that used to give them to me and let me build them as I went through my teenage years. Kind of got away from it. Life has a way of getting you sidetracked a little bit, and school, then high school, grade school, high school, and you know, military, then getting married, then babies, and now I'm a little bit older now, work, and now I have time to get back to my hobby, which I love racing cars. I love going to races and everything. So I'm very much an enthusiast of racing. I've always built my cars, older cars back in the 80s and 70s when I was younger to race on the street. As far as it's just something you do as young men. We who got the nicest car, who got the loudest car. And when I went to the military, all different types of cars. I had a 1972 Grand Prix I do believe 400, uh, pure white interior and chocolate black. Um, Not chocolate black, but chocolate paint, and it was and had headers, and it was a dual quad, okay, which was basically a full barrel carburetor, two stacked on top of my engine, and gave me 400 plus horsepower, and that was straight out the factory. So, but I bought it used. But the point is, that's how they used to build them in the 70s. These cars these days, if you want them built like that, it's gonna cost you a pretty penny to get all that horsepower. So, and emissions wasn't quite that as bad either. Control of emissions, so could get away with a little more. All right, so moving on, you got the dashboard here. You got the instrument panel right here. You have the underneath the front. You have where your wheels and your axles and the front part of your engine, the support of your engine mounts, of your engine compartment set on here, and all of this is dealing with your the vision of the. If you can picture a car and look underneath the front end of it, this is what you would see the front end of a 70 Challenger. Okay, but we'll paint it all to get it all to look just as it would as if it was a real vehicle. We're going to get to that. Again, the seats right here. This here is an air filter here that goes on the top of the engine. If you don't want the street race look and you want the factory look, you would use this. We want to have that painted, even though we may not use it. We'll have it ready if we ever want to change it out. If you ever wanted to do that, because I believe this one is a two-in-one, where you could fix it a couple of different ways. Okay, so that's that. And of course, you got the seats here, the bucket seats. Okay, for the front, and we'll keep moving on. Next, we have the the inside of the vehicle compartment. The back seat will go back here. The two bucket seats will go right here. Of course, all of this is going to be color coordinated to try to match as much as we can to the box that we've seen to make it look that as well. Okay, and then we have these two are the back of the bucket seats. Okay, which has to be cemented and glued together, but also you have to be very, very, I guess, careful with the way you do this because it can get messy by using too much cement to cement glue. That's what I'm saying, because it can get really messy. Okay, and then you got the the, the belt here with all the different pulleys and whatnot here, which has to be also color coordinated. We're going to get into that, and And as you can see here, this is one of the exhaust manifolds I was telling you about. Um, and then you will see sometimes some of these have an option where you could just put headers on them, okay, and you don't have to deal with the exhaust tailpipes and things of that matter. That uh, that's kind of up to you how you want to go with it once you get into it. Me personally, I feel like this, like here, would be your regular, how it would come from the factory. Okay, a lot of times this would be going up to your exhaust manifold here. But if you got headers or whatever the case may be coming out, this is the header, and some of these you may even get just regular exhaust manifolds on each side, depending upon how you want to make it. The headers usually give you a lot of noise, makes it sound pretty cool, and it also makes you feel like your car is the boss. Okay, my wife, when we were younger, she used to sometimes come home and tell me everybody would want to race her. I had a 70, let me see, I had a 72 Pontiac Grand Prix. She never drove that one, but she did drive the Nova. I had a 71 Nova, and I had headers put on it, and I put my stripes on it and everything. And this was living in Illinois, Broadview, and we had a good time driving it. I did, and she used to always have to race when I wasn't in there because guys would pull up too low, hit the red light, and finally she said she got fed up with it, and she said, "You want to race? Okay, we'll race." Because I used to have the chains hanging from it, from the engine, and you could hear it as we went down the street and everything. I thought it was cool, and but my wife was always kind of angry with me when she got home because she had to race at every red light. So that was kind of funny. But that was back in the '80s, and we was still a little bit younger, but still it was a lot of fun. And I'm still, I guess, one of those type of guys that just like the noise, and I like to race. Okay, and I like to have a car that's really, really sharp looking and ready to go if need be. So, with that being said, of course, these here are also like the inside inner parts of the hub, okay, that goes, and we're going to paint this accurately as we see fit. All of this is, by the way, numbered, okay, and I'll show you that as well. Okay, here we have, looks like it will, this is going to end up being the tail light, the tail section, the bumper for it, okay, and as you can see, it's going across. You got a section of parts where you inserting the lights and everything. It can get very intricate, but it's also fulfilling to see it once it's well done. And then, of course, we got uh, you have the chrome. Okay, I haven't taken it out yet, but as you can see, you have the blower on top right here. You got for the engine, for the intake manifold right here, and then you have the if you're going to go with regular, I have so many kits that I can interchange tires, but I'm for the purpose of doing this particular video and showing you an illustration on how you can get a very nice look and try to get as close to looking like how you how the picture is on the box. We're going to do it exactly like the box did, not my way, but once you get into it, you can kind of get jiggy with it if you want to. You can get to a point where you can interchange different parts and then kind of make up your own vehicle, kind of build your own car, even if it's a model. And then when you get to that point where you want to go buy one, you might be able to do that. and buy the shell and start building a real one. Okay, so that being said, okay, we got the hubcaps here, as you can see. They're very nice looking. And you got a couple of options, as you can see. You got four up here, and you got four down here, and the choice will be yours how you want them to look. Okay, you got the bumper, the chrome bumpers. Okay, you got the gear shift. Okay, it may not be a Hurst, or it could be, but whatever. You got the head head valve covers. Okay, right here, chrome. You got the different types of parts that they're smaller, but you can't really see them. But it could be either, part of it might be a part that goes to the belt, and it could be the alternator. It could end up being something different. I can't really see it at this point, but it could be the distributor cap. Okay, because if you remember back in the 70s, these vehicles had distributor caps. It wasn't injection unless you specifically had a certain one to get it. Other than that, everybody had a distributor cap, or whatever the case may be. And then you got all of the other things that's associated with the bumper right here, the front end, the back end bumper, and then the lights and all of that will end up coming to uh, being part of this that's in here. As you can see, you have the window, the back, the front window, and then you got in the middle here. You probably can't see it, but you'll have the different lights that you have that you would be inserting into to the model. So we're going to take one step at a time, and then we're going to see how we go as we progress through it. We won't try to string it out too long. This here again, you have the intake manifold, the different options you have. Remember, I told you there could be one or two parts. Ways that you can build it. And this is another way. This gives you a higher rise intake, okay? And then for a manifold, and then you would put your the rest of your engine on top of it. It's one or the other. You don't stack one on top of each other, okay? So anyway, on top of that, you have all different types of pluses that you can go to. This looks to be, I can't really say at this point, but it looks to me like this could be another portion of how you could, that's going to be a part of your engine right here, that for one of your options that you choose. This here is your spoiler right here. It's going to go on the back end of your car. As you can see, you're going to paint it accordingly so that it looks nice and very, very racy. Okay, so that's part of it. So now that I've introduced you to all that, I got about 7 more minutes, 6 more minutes, and what I'm going to do is kind of show you basically what this uh, what this model car is supposed to be color coded as. Okay, and then as you do the color coding, what you're going to do is end up getting to a point where you are going to be ready to put things together. It's not a fast thing, because if you do it fast, it's going to look messy, and then you're going to be disappointed in the outcome. So don't if you really don't have the time to do it, my suggestion is don't do it. Like I brought this particular vehicle model about, I don't want to say, I'd say about 3 weeks ago. I opened the box 2 weeks ago, and then I did all of my prep work to get on here and talk to you about it a week ago, and now I'm just getting on here explaining to you what we plan on doing on musclemodelcars.com. Okay, so as you see here, I took the liberty, and move this out the way. I took the liberty, and I'm gonna put it up there. Okay, of showing the paint parts and all of that stuff of how I'm going to do it. So if you don't have a road map of where you're going, you won't get there. Okay, you just be hanging out there, and your car look like a clown car. Okay, you don't want that. You want it to look just like the box. Okay, and then the boxes looks just like the real McCoy. Okay, so how did I get these numbers? You ask. I'm glad you asked. Okay, what I'm going to tell you is when you open this model car box that you purchased, you're going to see what it looks like and how it should look like. Okay, this is how it should look. Okay, a 70. Okay, a 1970 Challenger, and it's a 2-in-1. Okay, and you want this to look just like this, like we have on the box. Okay, so with that, what we're going to do is check the box again. Okay, and as you can see, there are different colors for everything. As you look on the back side, on the side of the box, it's showing you all the colors of the engine that's inside the engine compartment. So you want to make it look as realistic as possible. At least I do. Okay. So I'm going to look at this, and this is my roadmap here. Don't throw the box away. Keep it, and I even keep it after I'm done with it and it's totally built to to make a type of I don't know, just a memory of what it is, how it is, and how I did it. And you get some kind of pride out of that. And it doesn't always have to be a lot of money that you spend, but you take pride in, and it's very relaxing. Okay, so as you can see, different colors, right? All different colors in here. All right. So with those colors being you see, you can also see that there's a booklet that comes with it. Okay, and with that booklet, it tells you what it is: a 70 Dodge Challenger TA, and it's a 2-in-1. So you have another option. You don't have to build it one way. Okay? These are some of the instructions you may want to read for safety precautions. Okay, before you do anything, read safety precautions so that you don't end up doing something or leaving it where it can be a danger to someone else. You don't want to do that. This is meant to be fun, not a hazard, not anything that sends anyone to the hospital. So, just a little disclaimer for you that this is for adults and for the age 12 plus, and all of that information is included in the box. And I suggest you follow and read through the rules before you get started, especially if you're a first-time builder. Okay? Okay. And with that, I'm going to show you the color coding and how I do it. Well, you know what? I have 45 seconds left, and I'm going to have to get back with you on the next episode of musclemodelcars.com. And you be well until I see you again, and get ready to have some fun and bring your notepad, okay? And I thank you very much for tuning in. You make this a great week, a great night, and I'll see you next time, okay? On musclemodelcars.com.